All right, part 2. Let's check this out. So we're going to do this in segments because I really don't want to go after those solids that we had strained out along with this. I'd like to see if I can process this and then filter this out, keep this separately than the solids, just so I don't have to add this mud to the solids, even though I'm sure we're gonna have to deal with plenty of mud with that. So let's get started here. Got a little bit of leftover nitric. Just go ahead and dump a little bit of that in. Stir stick. And this is the one that had the black pieces in it that didn't dissolve the first go around. So we're gonna check and see if we get a reaction this go around. So let's run this for a little while and then we will let's start with the other one. So we're going to start going after this stuff here. And there's no question that there's copper in here. Hopefully, this is where our silver went off to. I can't make any promises. And I know I didn't put too much silver in there because I just had a couple of leftover spoons. And this is what I was talking about. So, rinse this off a little bit. And I imagine this is just all mud that we'll be having to deal with. Here. So we started with the nitric boil last time. I think it would be foolish to start with the nitric boil this time because we know exactly what happens. This turns into a big mud bath. So we're going to switch our process up here a little bit, and we're going to put hydrochloric acid in here. See if any of this mud will clear up, and then that'll tell us exactly, well, I can't say exactly, but it'll give us a much better, much more promising idea of what we have to dissolve with nitric. Because right now we just have a bunch of the same thing. Looks like we got a bunch of that mud, there's no question about that, and there was some solids. But like I said, I think it would be not so smart of me to go right into nitric. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and put, like, I don't know, it's probably overkill, but I want to make sure so I'm really bummed the phone stopped recording. Anyways, what I did was I added about 500 milliliters of hydrochloric acid instead of the nitric, and we're going to see if that is going to help us with that mud we were dealing with before. The reason why I didn't do that was because I was not sure where the iron or where that rust would have even come from in the anodes. You know, I don't have anything hot enough to melt steel or iron, and I didn't do anything like any legs, or it was just contacts, a couple spoons that I had taken some of the silver plate off of and missed some, and then some was copper bars with, or copper pins with gold plating on it. So I don't know where that came from. So that's why I really didn't go with the hydrochloric, but we live and we learn, and we move on. So we're gonna check this out after the hydrochloric. We might do another one, and yeah, hopefully we got some better results. And as I feared with this stuff, we have no reaction. So which is good and bad, because that means that that little black that we do have in there is gold. Getting it, on the other hand, is going to be a complete pain in the rear, because we have to get all the leftover nitric off of there and try to get all of the nitrates off of there so we don't create aqua regia when we do a hydrochloric acid boil. So I'll definitely have to check for gold, make sure we didn't dissolve it, and we'll also have to verify. Well, if we dissolve the gold, we dissolve the gold. I'll do the best I can rinsing it. I should have known better that was rust, but like I was saying, I don't know where it would have come from. And well, now we get to deal with it. So I'll take you on that adventure, and let's see if we can mess that or fix that mess up. So let's go ahead and get that right in the filter. Get my goggles on and my gloves. Oh, tight. Zoom out a little bit. That is super heavy. Alright, actually, let me go rinse this off. Alright, so I got that new filter in there, got that cleaned out. My Buckner funnel just to dirty it up again. Oh, these gloves are much tighter. And here we go. This is going to take some time. I'm kind of excited though, because it does look like there's a lot of black in here. And judging by the color coming out the other end of that, it's going to need several filters. In all honesty, we might, well, I think there's leftover nitric, so I think I want to use that on something else that's dirty. So we'll see how clean I can get it. If I can't get it clean enough, well, I guess the refining gods are going to have a little bit of an offering today with the nitric. But hopefully they're in my favor, and we can clean that up enough to salvage that nitric to use on another refining. Alright, so this is what we have left in the filter. That's what we have to go after. So that didn't dissolve in nitric, that big chunk, and then you can see all the little chunks in there. Whereas before it was really smooth. So there might not be anything in there, and if there is, it might not worth being, or might not where you, it might not worth going after. So I mean, all of the gold would have settled, all the hard stuff would have settled towards the bottom, which is what this is. So, all right, we gotta clean up my nitric here. Probably one more filter. That should be good for a good used filtration. That's boiling. It's probably ready to be poured off. And we'll check for gold, because there's going to be still some nitrates on there. I don't know, let's go for it. Let's check it out. Alright, so round 2 filtering. It's coming out nice and clean. I am going to run it through one more time because it is a little hazy. We are going to add some more hydrochloric to this. Something. Let's see here. Beaker's making a bunch of racket at us. Alright, we're going to take we'll just go like that. We'll let it finish its sucking after. Nitric. Like that. We'll let that cook for a little longer. Probably going to turn the heat up. There we go. And we are done filtering. So I'm going to run that through one more time. Still pretty nasty. There we go. Hopefully this looks good now. I actually put 2 filters in this last go around. There it is. I would say that's usable. All right, now we get to go for this stuff. I think I'm going to go right into I'm not sure what I want to do actually. I want to see if I can rinse this stuff off. I don't think the gold, I think that's too heavy. So I think anything that I wash off of here is just going to I'm running out of. Stay in the water column. Well, the gold will sink. Everything else will stay in the water column. So we might actually be able to take care of 2 birds with 1 stone. But we'll find out. Oop. Let me get you guys back in the picture here. It's really hard to see if there's anything chunky coming out, so I'm not going to go all the way just because I don't want to lose anything. Yeah, I really don't know where this tin came from, or this rust. I just have no idea. No idea. We'll do one more for good measure. It's not going to be clean by any means, but hopefully we got all the nitric out. And I'm just going to kind of dig in here quick. Still got hard pieces in there. I didn't break anything up too bad. Perfect. And I don't see anything big on the bottom. So, let's put a little hydrochloric in there. You still hear those hard pieces down at the bottom. So hopefully that's our gold. Should be able to get rid of our filter here. Let's clean that. That's alright. We'll keep the filter in there. We can work around that bad boy. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. Alright, well, we're just going to let that sit now for a little while. See, it's getting a little darker. Not quite as dark as that. We had a lot of stuff in there. So, alright, let's get back to you here in a little bit. Alright, let's check this out. Alright, so I'm going to let this settle again, because we have a lot. Alright, so let's back this up a little bit. I probably shouldn't have stirred it to try and eliminate this rust and try to take it with the water column. I think those big chunks that I was talking about were either really brittle or held together with that sludge. And when I stirred it, they turned into a very fine powder. Now I don't see any at the bottom yet. I don't know how fast or slow it would take, you know, to settle in this thick of solution, because you can see that it. I mean, this has been a while, and it is still really thick. You know, it hasn't settled at all. This is that hydrochloric acid I just poured in there, which is sitting on top of that. So I probably shouldn't have stirred it, but I do still see chunks down there, which is good because that hasn't gone away in hydrochloric. Actually, hold on. Before I do all that, oh, this would stink. Before I get rest of it, I think I'm jumping the gun here. I think I am jumping the gun. Perfect, no color change. All right, we're good to go. That scared me for a second. So that rinsed out fairly well. All right, so let's get back to draining this. So as we can see, there's a little bit of debris on the bottom. It's not a whole lot. Actually, that's a pretty good chunk over there. There we go. Not a ton. Thin that out a little bit. Alright, we're going to let that settle. We're going to start draining this guy here. Let that settle a little bit. I don't want to get my beaker too hot either. And I'm just paying attention. I'm trying not to get any of that fine, what I'm thinking is gold powder, to come along with any of this solution. And with just the hydrochloric acid that was saturated, it seemed like it was pulling that gold fairly easily. So I just tried to thin it out with some distilled water, and that seems to be working. It seems to be all staying at the bottom. We do have a little bit of powder. Sweet. I think there's an actual piece of metal in there. Alright, well, let's throw this in some aqua regia. This is definitely going to need a double refining. Alright, let me grab it. Clean my mess up here a little bit. There we go. So this first one's going to be real sloppy. There's no questions about that. But I don't want to drain anymore because I feel like I'm losing a small amount into this. this is going to need very, very minimal amounts of nitric. We're talking at most a milliliter. Just start with a couple of drops. I'm not going to put that on the heat right now because my hot plate is screaming and I don't want to shock the system. Or shock my speaker and have it crack. With what little gold I've been trying to get, I've definitely worked for this tiny amount of gold. There's no questions about that. Alright, let's continue draining this here. Let's see what this looks like. This solution is fairly clear. There we go. So there's definitely some copper in there. There's no question about that. We're gonna have to do a nitric boil on here, but we gotta rinse this off really well. So I'm gonna clean the speaker up and we'll get back to me putting nitric in. But if I did lose any gold, anything on the bottom of this, there's enough hydrochloric acid that it ate all of that rust up. So that would have been a game changer for sure. I should have started with a hydrochloric boil before nitric. But like I said a couple of different times now, I don't know where that rust came from, so I really wasn't expecting it to be there. I knew there was some muck there, but I didn't think it was going to be rust. So, well, you live and you learn, and this is good. This is good because now we can get any gold that's back, any gold that did fall out back. Perfect. All right, let me get this cleaned up. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to be able to clean this up enough to get a good... So let's see here. I'm getting a ton of my slimes going back into my little stock pot here. So it's not good because we're not dealing with a lot of slimes. We're not dealing with a lot of precious metals. So I don't want to do all this and then have it wasted. So any silver that's in here, I'm just going to go ahead and turn into silver chloride. Then I'm not chasing it all over the place because now I have to filter this out in order to get, you know, to get the precious metals hanging here at the bottom. I really don't want to put that in my stock pot knowing it's just silver and gold, because then I have to go through, you know, cleaning out my copper anodes. So I'll filter this all out and then put this in my filter bin so that I know I don't have to worry about all those other metals. But what I'd like to do here is get a little acidic paper just to see where we're sitting. So we're still acidic, we still have a little pink. But like I said, it's not the end of the world. We'll go right to silver chloride. So that being said, my gloves on here, dealing with some nitric. And we are going to go ahead and put some nitric in here. Alright, so this also can create aqua regia too, so we'll have to test to verify that no gold is in this solution. All right, let's check out our temperatures here. 340, that's still screaming. 147, 130, oh, depends on where I'm at, I guess. 147 Celsius. So we're gonna let that cool down before I decide to put before I put anything on there. There's no sense in breaking anything. I've done that a couple of times on the channel. We don't need to do that again, huh? Alright. I do, however, would like to get watch glass on there. That's our gold, which almost just lost the top of that. Is still being dissolved. So there we go. Nice reaction here. We actually have a color we're aware of, and it's not all muddy. Look at that. All right, look at that. We're good. Now hopefully we can pull some silver out of there. I do see a ton of copper. I mean, there's no question that that's copper color. There's copper crystals in there. Another interesting thing too is, so this is what I saw on the back side, or that what was on that last side, that black stuff like that. So I'm curious if we've got a bunch more gold in there too, because I don't see anything going on with that. No bubbles, no reaction in that way. But still way too early on the still way too early. And it's cloudy because we know we're probably creating some silver chloride right off the bat. So maybe that's a good thing. Or it could be all the bubbles. Well, I know we're going to be making silver chloride. There's no question. We were still acidic with hydrochloric acid when I added that nitric. So we'll have a little bit to deal with, but, well, not the end of the world. Alright, so I got this bad boy back up on the heat now. And looks like we had some good fuming action. And not quite a boil over, but we had good reaction. See the witness marks here, like halfway up the beaker. So let's see here. We still have our nitric going on over here. Alright, we'll knock all that down. See what we got. There's still some, we still have plenty of material down there, so maybe we need a little bit more nitric. Maybe we need a little more hydrochloric. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of both in. That's pretty black, that solution, so I imagine there's still quite a bit of I imagine there's still quite a bit of contaminants in there, which we were kind of aware of. There was no question that this was going to be a beautiful, clean gold drop the first go around. There's no question. Especially after seeing this last video and all the fun I had to deal with to get this far. So we're going to put 3 milliliters in. See what we get for reaction. If any at all. That black stuff might not even be might not be gold. We might be chasing something here. We might be chasing something. Let's see. So there is good news. I think we found our silver. So this was all copper, and it's now silver color. So I imagine what's happening is the silver's getting dissolved and plating back out on that copper. Cementing back out on that copper, I should say. So I know we're moving forward in a good way, at least on some of it. So it's not a complete fail yet. Got some precious metals here. Let's see if I wasted. I probably could guarantee you I wasted more chemicals than I'm going to get here in precious metals. Let's do a quick little test. Let's see what we got. See if we got any gold in solution this far. If there's going to be any, it's going to be very faint. Which I would say I don't see anything yet. We got good reaction going on now, good foam, good fumes. There's only one way to figure this out, and that is forward. Let's keep pushing that direction and see what we can come up with. All right, let's see where we're at here. So we definitely need some more nitric in there. And we still have quite a bit of material in there. So we're going to put some more nitric on here. Let's see, let me get my gloves on. Start turning that up too. Just got back from class today. Started back up my last year. So I'm getting excited that it's coming to an end. So that's why I'm not having a video out today. Alright, so put a little bit of nitric in here. 3 milliliters. Put that up there. See if we got a reaction. Interested to see what we got there. Still a lot of black material on the bottom of that thing. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit in a beaker here. And we can slowly add it to this guy if need be. So I got, let's see here, 20. I'm not sure if I like that actually. Just do incrementals. So we'll start with 8, 4. And 8. Alright, let's see where that gets us. Little reaction right off the bat. Starting to turn, you see all those little bubbles in there. I'm really intrigued to see if we actually have more reaction. If that's the case, we're going to have quite a bit of gold in there. Well, I can't say quite a bit, but a lot more than I was expecting. But I don't know, that seems a little too good to be true. What we can do is we can see if we are picking up any gold. With the scientific straw. Not looking good. It's not looking good. A little color change, very, very little. Alright, well, let's keep it going. Alright, I did just add a little bit more HCl to this, so I just wanted to make sure that I threw that in there. Alright, so I added a little more hydrochloric acid to this bad boy. And the beaker, or the solution's getting a little full. I really don't want to get any boilovers, so we're going to switch this over to 1,000. And it's stained, so it's a little grimy looking. I really want to see what we have down here. So, there we go. Hold on, let's see if I can do this again. So there's a lot of black left in there. I'm not sure if that's gold or it looks metallic. It looks like a slime. There's no question about that. Well, I guess let's keep adding more acids, because it looks like it's definitely going away. There we go. I'm a little more comfortable with that. We can keep it below halfway. Boilovers aren't as likely. Alright. Well, so we stopped with any reaction. So let's check to see if we've got any gold finally in solution. If it's not gold, I'm really curious as to what it is. And I did test my stannous. I've got some gold that I keep to test it, just to verify everything's going good. Well, if there's any in there, there's not a lot. I would have to say that's a no. Well, let's put a little more nitric in here and see if we can put the rest of that metallic, whatever that is, in solution. I'm beginning to think it's not gold. I don't know what it would be. It didn't dissolve in the nitric. The nitric boils and the pure hydrochloric boils. It didn't dissolve in that either. So, definitely odd. Alright, let's go ahead and put a little bit more HCl in now too, since we got a little bigger beaker. The solution looks a little saturated. And I've got heat off. I'm going to call it for tonight. So we'll start this back up in the morning. See what we can get. Alright, so I got this all transferred over to the bigger beaker now. Be a little more comfortable. Let's see. Let me get my gloves on. See what we got. See what we're working with here. Hopefully we're down to the minimum amount of material there, so we can get a drop today. But I still see some stuff in there. So let's go ahead and turn this on and go ahead and put a couple more milliliters of nitric in there. I'm thinking this is going to be the last of it. Then we'll be able to denox it, do a little test for gold, see what we got, if anything at all. Alright, let's see where we're at here. So I'm beginning to think that not all of that is going to dissolve by any means. So I guess we can. Well, here's the thing. We'll keep it in a filter. We'll keep the rest of that in a filter, and we'll denox this. We'll see where we're at. See if we can get any gold to show up on a piece of filter paper with some stannous. And then we'll go from there. If there's more gold in solution, or if there's no gold in solution, maybe we'll try just getting the rest of this aqua regia off of there, and then just going for that thin little bit with fresh hydrochloric and fresh nitric. See if anything happens. If not, it's a bust. So let's get some goodies going. Get my stand down. Go ahead and put this here, and this will be a good example too, because if we have leftover nitric and that stuff is not dissolving, it's probably not going to dissolve. That would be my guess. So let's see what we got. Grab my gloves. Alright. And bringing out the sulfamic acid. Probably going to have a good reaction. I just have a feeling with the way this has been going. So we're just going to do very little bits at a time here. Yep. So I would say we've got plenty of nitric left. I'd say that's it. Alright. That wasn't too bad, actually. And we still have some crystals on the bottom. So with that, we also just made some sulfuric acid. So any lead sulfate is going to come up and out. So that's good. But I'm curious to see if we have any gold. Well, so here's the thing, is I know there should be gold in there. I don't know where it's at, but I know it should be in there. Because like I said before, there was 10 pounds or 10 ounces of copper or gold plated copper. And nothing. I have no idea where that gold is at. Let's sit there for a minute. See if we get any sort of change. Interesting. Well, I'll keep this filter out just in case it's such a little amount it's taking a while. I can believe that. That's quite a bit of solution. Maybe that is gold. I don't know. Let's I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and filter this out. Keep the little bit of material left in the bottom, and we're gonna try to go for that. This has to cool down a little bit though, so before we get filtering, otherwise I'll just eat up my filter and it'll turn into pulp. So I'll get back to you when this is nice and cool. Alright, let's start the filtration process here. And we're going to try and get everything except for the bottom, the material that's left on the bottom, because I want to try and get that again. So some of it looks metallic. I'll let that settle for a little bit. Nice clean solution though. Probably gonna only need one time. Another thought is that black material at the bottom burnt up filter? Like, was the bottom of the beaker hot enough to burn the filter paper and make that black material? But I don't know. That black, it moves like metal. There's no question about that. Alright, I think we got that. Alright, let me get my gloves on here. Start working with acids. Alright. This is a lot of Hail Mary. I've used a lot of chemicals for this. There's no question about that. At this point, I am just really curious where my gold is. Really curious. Alright, grab my nitric, and let's put, that's probably too much hydrochloric. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put just a couple milliliters of nitric in there. I'm actually going to do 3 more because there are some sulfamic crystals left at the bottom. So the nitric is definitely going to utilize that right off the bat. Let's see. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and try to drop the gold. If there is any. I'm just having a hard time believing that it's not in there. when I know for a fact I put some gold in there. I'm just not sure where it's hiding. So I don't know if it's just such a little amount. I'm not pulling any traces up. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there at all, actually. All I know is it's somewhere. I haven't gotten it yet. Well, I haven't seemed to have gotten it yet. A little bit of SMB in there. Well, no color change yet. That's because there's no gold in there. We've checked with the Stannis. I'm just stumped. I'm not sure where it's at. I still have some sediment left over here, but that's not dissolving by any means. So I don't think that's it. Because there's still fresh nitric in here. And we're not getting anything here. Probably a lot, but that's alright. Yeah, these copper cell slimes are really kicking my butt. No question about that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in there. This would have changed color. It would have lightened in color, or you know, we would have seen a little bit of light, and then of course it would have got dark if we had any gold come out of there. But I don't see anything happening. So I think we're at a bust there, round 2. So, the last hope we have is some silver in there, which I got to put a little bit more nitric in to dissolve the rest of the material in the bottom. And then we can go ahead and check and see if we have some silver, if we have any kind of precious metals. But I think we do have some silver. I'm just not sure how much. That's going to be the question. Not very much, I'm guessing. But, yeah, we'll find out here in a minute. So, I'm going to go ahead and filter that material out. So, this is still fresh Aqua Regia. And I'm going to try to make more Aqua Regia after rinsing this off, because it just seems like there's still something there. We'll have to find out exactly what it is. But I think we have a little bit left on that. Alright, well, I definitely just put hydrochloric acid in there. Long weekend, long drive home, not thinking very well. So we might as well take the rest of that that silver out. Put some hydrochloric in there. On a positive note, we've got silver. That's alright. We'll add that to the rest of my silver chloride, which is not a lot. But it's definitely growing, especially if I do goofy stuff like that. Because I do eventually want to try the line sugar method. So we'll see what we got there. We'll get a weight on that. Go from there. Well, after the SMB was put in here, we got a really good layer of something. Now, it really looks like gold. But with that stannous test, you know, I checked the stannous to make sure that it worked. So I guess I'll make a video. It won't be on this one because this one's getting kind of long. But we're going to see what that is. It looks like gold, but there's no way that that amount of material that we just precipitated out wouldn't have left any kind of mark. There had to have been some kind of mark on my stannous. But we'll find out, I guess. So I got another thought, but I'll chat at you on that one. Alright. Well, it looks like we found some silver. Definite brain fart yesterday with HCl instead of nitric. Now, there was a little bit of silver cement on the bottom of that. Now mixed in with a bunch of silver chloride. Yep, I did it. And as promised, I post everything, positives and negatives, so you get to see it all firsthand. Yeah, I got back yesterday, and I don't know why I even attempted that. I guess I was missing it, and excited to get a video guys out for it, and whoop, HCl, nitric, and good thing it wasn't like bleach pneumonia or something crazy, huh? But yeah, after that, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm putting it down for today. We'll take a look back at this tomorrow. Yeah, so we found some silver. Now, the amount of silver in this one, I knew was not going to be a huge amount. Because the material, like the anodes that I was actually using, they weren't as concentrated as the previous copper cell that I did with the little beaker. These were just like melted flatware that I had already taken most of the silver off. So this was basically just to get all of the silver off of there, along with trying to make, excuse me, pure copper. Now, there's way too much material in those, meaning the brass. It's, you know, if I'm aiming for 95% to keep a clean cell, I am way out of spec on that, and we'll definitely have to think about ways to keep that percentage higher, which would definitely mean introducing more copper to my anodes. But then the problem lies in how much, like how many anodes do I actually have to go through in order to keep that copper pure, keep my slimes, and then how much electrolyte am I going to go through with, you know, those different anodes. So the electrolyte will last much longer, keeping the anodes, you know, closer to 95% pure copper. But I guess my goal with McDirty was to not necessarily have pure copper, but have good slimes. Basically just to separate the precious metals. And, well, a couple of things that I probably did wrong. First one being copper. Well, I can't say the nitrate was bad. What I think was happening and why I was getting the clouds was you can actually steal some of the electrolyte, plate the electrolyte out, which will then free up some nitrate. So when I introduce more, you get reaction. Possibility. I have no idea if that's what was happening. 2, anodes, way unpure. And looking back at the gold, so I'm not sure if that's gold or not. Now, I'm thinking it's not, simply because I didn't have anything on the stannous. So when we clean this up, we'll see. But I went back and looked at my footage, and I saw that one of those anode bars wasn't fully, well, a couple of them were still intact, but there was one that must have like fallen off completely and wasn't touched. So I'm curious if that was the copper and gold one that I was looking for the gold. So what I might do is I might run that one separately, and kind of like what I did with that other beaker, or that other copper cell, where I made copper sulfate and ran it you know, just by itself. So I might try that with that one, just to see if that's actually where the gold is. But I am going to explore this with this. I'll make a third part, and we'll see what that is, because I just feel like my stannous test would have picked that up. Like, I was expecting to go down there and there be like a very light dusting, and it's like, okay, you know, maybe the stannous is, you know, because it's definitely getting older. It's probably 5 months old now, and I haven't touched it up or anything. So it's probably getting a little bit on the weak side, but it definitely should have showed up if that is all gold. Because I like I said, I keep a 24, or I do keep, you know, some gold in solution, specifically for testing purposes, for like instances like this, you know. And it did show up on the gold solution, and it didn't show up in that solution. So I really don't think it's gold, but I kind of want to see if it is. So we'll do a little exploring together, see what that is exactly. And then I'm going to be busy with depopulating all that equipment I just got. So I've started on it, and so I've got ram sticks. You know, I want to get a little bit of everything, so I can do, you know, like, okay, ram sticks, or, you know, gold cornered. You know, you do I can't really see. We got a couple of them. Look at this. Hold on. Look at the size of this one. Monster. So here's like the majority size that I have, and then I got one little guy. Look at peanut. But yeah, I saw that. I'm like, wow, that thing is huge. But with the amount of that this last refining has kicked my butt, I kind of want to win. So, you know, uplift the spirits a little bit. So I got some more gold. I got carrot scrap. Let's see here. I think I'm about 6 grams of 14 and 2.7 of 10. But I have another 2.1 10 carat coming, and I think I've got 4.5 14 carat coming. So I'll wait for those, because I want to. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do them all at once. But I did just get a good bag of gold filled scrap. Now I got to separate the magnetic and all that fun stuff yet, and pull out, like, it's got watch face. Pull all that fun stuff out yet. But it's been a while since I've done some gold filled. I might have to do that. Gonna get up to an ounce here soon enough. I'm excited. But well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys had a good weekend. Oh man, weather was just perfect here. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.